with hypnosis, and you could do a whole program on this, but the subversive hypnosis that goes on nowadays is absolutely off the charts. You can be between the harp and like you talk about the radio waves and all that stuff. You've got the government bombarding people with constant disruptive harmonics that go and that trance-induce or alter trance or alter you to in your music. You know how they say, well, it's illegal for the subliminals to be in music and the grocery stores or on TV. Bullshit. It's not. There's no law in the books that says that subliminals are illegal. They do it all the time.
That's why I always want Taco Bell after Taco Bell commercial.
They use like they even use certain sounds in like major like top 100 songs that like make you think you like the song. Like if you don't like the song, like they use it in like they pulled this sound from many of like the number one songs that have top billboards.
Yeah.
And it's the same sound. They just keep placing it into songs.
I mean, that makes sense because like I'll hear a song once and hate it, and then I'll hear it again and again and be like, yeah, I like the song now.
It's
ridiculous.
Like literally, they said that sometimes when producers like they'll have a track and then the artist will be like, this is ready to go out, and they'll send it to one more person just so they can add the sound. Like they find a way to add that sound in the song where it doesn't sound like out of place, and then they put the song out so it has a higher chance of being successful.
Absolutely. And you know that from hypnosis, which we know about hypnosis, like the standard hypnosis, like in the early 50s, it evolved into NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And from there are other techniques. So subversive hypnosis has really gotten really advanced. And our government knows about this. Our institutions know about this. The biggest owner of hypnosis books is the Southern Baptist College of the Baptist College, teaching teaching ministers to be ministers. Mm-hmm. They own the most hypnosis material. That's
actually a weird thing.
They teach ministers by the way they talk, the way they pattern their voices. They hypnotize the crowd.
Oh, so I mean, that's why they all have that. And this is the canter that they speak in type. Yeah. Okay.
It's hypnosis patterning. Music.
We're making breakthrough revolutions today on Not Your Average Hipsters, guys.
And that you have to be aware. Actually, several of my friends, when I became a hypnotherapist, I actually was hypnotized that I could not be subversively hypnotized unless I wanted to listen to. So I basically cannot be hypnotized.
So you put counter hypnotist programming into yourself.
You can put a counter hypnotist programming into yourself. You have to. So that way I can listen to, that way when I want to, I can listen to a hypnosis CD to write out the program so I can listen to what they're saying without going into trance. So
but would you be able to do that just mentally not wanting to be hypnotized?
Yeah, you can, but your subconscious mind's always going to go, listen. But a friend of mine, I did that. I did the anti-hypnosis program for her. She was a musician, and I felt in her situation some things were happening, and I felt that she's needing that. So I did the anti-hypnosis program with her. And so she went back to New York, and first thing she said is, my God, I'm watching TV and I'm listening to the radio and everything sounds different.
I don't like it anymore.
And and she's like, what? She goes, this is just so weird. And then in her situation, she ended up breaking up with this man she was with because I suspected he was using hypnosis on her.
Whoa.
And
that's next level dating.
She just ended up, they broke up, and she sat back and she was like, oh my God.
Can you hypnotize somebody in their sleep?
Yes.
Oh, that's what he was doing. He was sleep hypnotizing her. And then she was waking up like, I love him, but she really didn't.
But you can do that. And so there are people who have books out there that actually talk about how to do that. I can't
remember. Shouldn't that be like illegal?
It should be illegal. It's unethical.
Like that should be on Law and Order SVU. Like you can't be hypnotizing me in my sleep.
But like how many people are out there going to deny like hypnotists aren't real? No one gets hypnotized. Like there's plenty of people who are.
Well, we say that you can't be hypnotized to go against your moral nature. Okay. So you can't hypnotize somebody to stab themselves.
So Manchurian Candidate is not a thing, probably.
It is a thing.
Okay.
But you can't make somebody self-harm or stab themselves, right?
Okay. But like if somebody didn't want to to rob a bank, you could maybe make them rob a bank.
If their moral nature was not to rob, no, you couldn't make them rob the bank. But if their moral nature was to rob a bank, you damn well they will.
So if they wanted to rob a bank, but you
can like shut down their self-control. That's like,
yeah, it would basically, it's about your moral nature. So this is where you get into this whole thing where we all know about the hypnotist lawyer who was put in jail for having a non-consensual sex with his clients.
I did not know
he was
that.
hypnotizing them.
Yeah, no,
Thank you for bringing this up. I have something to read
That
about
was
now.
over in Lorain. Oh, yeah, go check that out.
Lorain County?
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is close to home.
So he was using subversive hypnosis techniques, and now these women say it was consensual, but they went ahead and said yes. So there was that whole like, well, what was that about? Well, their moral nature was that they wanted to have sex.
I mean, like everybody,
but not with him.
Well, and then he just maybe seemed to be the right person at the time. So there we go into the ethics. So
hold on, because now I'm confused.
Well,
like he may have been the right person at the time, or his hypnosis.
His hypnosis made him the right person at the time. He took advantage of that whole situation. So going back to the ethics are on him, and he went to jail. Okay,
was that like the first case?
Yeah, really.
That's like a groundbreaking case.
To me, it was, because when I read about that, I was like, what?
Yeah, that's wild.
Because that seems like something that like would just get like thrown out in today's court. Like you guys are just crazy.
Well, based on the testimonies and that everything else that was going on, the judge was like, well, this was non-consensual. It was not. That it wasn't, and this was not okay. But let's take it to another level. If you know that our government's really aware of what they're doing, and this is why we're all asleep. So the hardest thing I have to do as a hypnotist is to wake people up and to wake people out there. It's amazing how many people are sleepwalking, and it's kind of scary when you think about it. And the HAARP is real. These things are real. So I mean,
so you think HAARP has more to do? So we're gonna hit conspiracy avenue right here. Do you think HAARP has more to do with weather changing or with the literal sending messages to our brain subconsciously?
Both. And they can target cities, and they can target cities. They can target specific regions.
HAARP is like their baby. It's like their child. They raised it to do so many different things to us.
Well, the brain is energy, it's electricity. All right. So, we're affected, like you said, with the radio waves, 5G, whatever that's going to be. It affects us. That's why I wear this. Wear my harmonics. There are some things that we have to, definitely be more, aware of. And psychically, we are vulnerable. Again, we're all intuitive, right? I mean, we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that there are some. So conspiracy theories. Yeah. Okay. Are the aliens beaming? Do we need to put tinfoil on our heads? No. But do we need to be aware that there are mechanisms and things we can do to protect ourselves? Definitely. But it is, I think we're more asleep now than we've ever been.
So let me go back a while back into the conversation. Sure. It's something that just kept sticking with me because we got off track with not off track. The
conversation flowed.
Yeah. We paid a lot of attention to the Ascended Masters. Okay, got that backwards. So, but after you said Ascended Masters, you said the Star People.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, oh, Star People? Mm-hmm. What are the Star People?
Okay, well, the Star People are, basically aliens. You have your Arturians, you have your Little Greys, your Tall Greys, you have your Pleiadians, you have your reptilians.
Okay, question about aliens. Like, are you talking like interdimensional beings or like extra dimensional beings?
Both.
Like, okay.
They both exist.
Okay.
Yeah, we're really. I haven't believed that Earth is actually just some kind of base, like or vortexal base, like where all the roads meet, because there seems to be an awful lot of extraterrestrial, interterrestrial things.
We're Interstate 71 of the
terrestrial plane.
Yeah. And Ohio is kind of a landing and takeoff place.
Does that have something to do with our huge amount of like fresh water?
I'm not sure. I I had a UFO expert come on my TV show because I was really fascinated about the fact that there aren't a lot of alien abductions in Ohio. Most of those take place like in California or Arizona and stuff.
Like West Coast deserty places, right?
Yeah,
that's what I always see.
And some East Coast, like you got the Whitley Strieler guy from the Catskills in New York, and there's a lot ton of UFO activity in the Catskills in New York. But Ohio seems to be really more of this, like, they fly over and they go into Lake Erie and stuff, but they don't really land. We haven't had a lot of encounters of the third or fourth kind are very, very rare. There's only been 2 reported encounters of the fourth kind down in southern Ohio, and that's about it.
What is an encounter of the fourth kind?
That's when you actually are abducted.
Okay.
Third kind is you see them and, you know, they landed and there's actual physical evidence of a landing.
So what's the most evidence that you have seen of an extraterrestrial being?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
She's so hyped.
I'm so glad you asked. So I got to tell you this because this is a fun story, and I'll tell you this. So I was down at Universal Light Expo in Columbus, which is this big metaphysical new age thing. 600 vendors and readers and 2 days of 20 lectures an hour. And there was this lady walking around, and she talked to a friend of mine and whatever. And then my friend goes, "You got to talk to that lady." I was like, "Why?" She's like, "She talks in alien tongue, man. Like, you got to talk to her." I'm like, "What? That sounds just up my alley. Okay, I'm going to find her." Like, boop, boop, boop. I find her. She's walking around. Her name was Mary. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I hear you talking. You talk to aliens. You channel aliens, right? Channel aliens." I'm like, "What is it like? What are aliens like?" I'm like really curious. I'm trying to pick her mind, and she's talking, and she's like, she just gets their messages, and she knows when they're around and all this other stuff. And I go, "Well, do you have an alien message for me?" She's like started talking like in this really weird language, like like something out of like Star Trek. I'm like, "Oh, okay, she's making this shit up." I'm like, "Yeah,
there's no way," right?
Yeah. So then she's like, and I said, "Well, tell them I want to see an alien. I want to get a picture. So she said, "Okay, I'll tell him." She goes, "Okay." She said, "Okay, yeah, they'll show up." Yeah. So my drive home, driving up 71, it's Sunday night about this kind of weather. It's like, it's cloudy, kind of a little bit raining. And I'm south of Mansfield. So I think I'm just by Ashland, maybe a little bit south of Ashland. And you know how the hills are coming, like you've got more of those dips. So I'm starting to go up this hill. There's 2 hills, but you can see just the trail of lights going up. It's very misty. Clouds are real low. And I'm talking on the phone to my friend. I'm like, and I'm looking up. I'm like, all of a sudden everybody breaks. Like everybody breaks. Like, oh shoot, there must be an accident. I can't see anything. And then I look up, and coming out of the cloud was a blimp. I thought it was a blimp. First, I thought it was a blimp. I'm going, "Oh, why is that blimp? Boy, that's a big blimp." I'm talking to my friend. "Boy, is that a big blimp? Oh my God, you got to see it." Then I'm looking again. It wasn't a blimp. And this thing was huge. I'm talking probably twice the size of the the blimp. And I see the blimp, the Goodyear blimp all the time, right? Because they fly over my house all the time. Right. The Goodyear blimp. And I'm like, no, this is because it had kind of more, looked like kind of more saucier, but it was gray, reflective of the clouds, but it was solid object, and it just slowly moved across 71. And everyone's stopping. I'm stopping too. And I'm stupid enough. I'm like, got my phone in my hand. I'm talking to my friend going, "Holy crap, it's a UFO. Oh my God, it's the mothership. Oh my God. I'm like, awesome. I'm trying to get the picture, right? My phone drops. And it moves out of the cloud bank and goes across 71 all the way and goes into the cloud bank. And everyone was stopping, though. People were seeing it. And you have those moments where you go, that wasn't real. That couldn't have been real. And then I'm like, yeah, that was real. That was real. And so I had my phone in my hand. I just was on the call and then I dropped it. But I go, I got to see that chick again, wherever she is. I got to find out in her business card. Yeah. But I got to do this again. This time I'll have my phone ready.
Right.
And that was the startlingness for me. That was just, I was like, I'm convinced because that was real. And then I kept thinking to myself, do I want to really know what's going inside there? I've been, informed. Like I said, I did an episode of we did some UFO chasing up by Lake Erie. So that was my experience though. I talked to him about the mothership. That was definitely a mothership. So they're there. They're there. I haven't talked to anyone. I have gotten messages from Arcturians during meditation. The Arcturians are the tall, blonde, kind of benevolent people. They
look like people, but bigger than us, right?
Yes. They're tall and thin, blonde, kind of Swedish looking.
You got me there. I remember those ones now. I'm like, I don't remember those ones.
Yeah, they're called Arcturians.
I've never heard of Arcturians.
I did a lot of looking into the
aliens.
Yeah, the aliens.
Yeah, of course, the little grays are, I've not encountered a little gray. I don't want to.
Little grays are malevolent?
I don't think they're nice.
No?
No.
Those are always the ones I wanted to see.
Why?
Like the movie.
She's like, go see a bear.
It's the movie Alien. It's like always what I pictured. Like,
I thought they were tall.
They come up, they come down from the
well, there's
light.
little grays and
They
then
start
there's
walking to me.
hybrids. I know, but they're hybrids. Who knows what they've been doing, you know?
So when you like remote view somebody, do you have to know where they're at?
No.
What is to stop you from attempting to remote view an alien then?
Because I don't want to break universal law. So I've not been asked to remote view an alien, so therefore I won't do it.
You were in the room when we were talking about this.
So if the alien,
I was dealing with the dog.
Universal law dictates that you're not allowed to psychically go into someone else's space.
Okay.
Unless you were invited.
Okay.
And you get an okay. So some people kind of move around that a little bit. They get the okay from the higher self. I'm going to talk to your higher self and see if your higher self gives me the okay to go into your space. That's kind of a gray area. Not
That
always.
seems like you might end up in court.
Right.
Like, hey, I didn't give you permission to do that.
Right. And so I kind of always not do that. The only time I ever have really done that is when I'm doing healing work and I'm asked by a parent. Like an example is there was a young girl who was burned by chlorine down in Texas and she wanted me to send in healing energy and do a psychic scan, medical scan on her daughter to see what they were really dealing with. So I had to get the daughter's like higher permission that way, but I had the mother's permission, but I didn't just jump in and go look.
So you would be able to talk to a higher me.
I could, yeah.
I wonder what the higher me is like. I wonder if it's like me.
So that brings me to another question then, like about more base level psychic abilities. Like you say when you were young, you were able to see like colors around people and like that's their aura and stuff like that. So do you constantly see colors of auras?
Yes, on some level. I see people as energy. I see everything as energy. So when I look at people, I don't really, it's kind of funny. I just see energy. It's just energy. With my eyes closed, my eyes open, everybody's energy.
Okay.
So, but I don't go into your energy, but everyone is just.
By the look of the energy, can you tell certain things? So like you say everybody's an energy, but like we all look different. So I would imagine that would apply to our energy.
I don't judge on people's energies. So, but I can see if someone is, you can see where someone's like energy level is, if it's really high vibration or, like they pray a lot or they have a strong aura, or if they don't,
So on the most basic level, what do you get out of my energy?
Well, he just wants me to read his energy.
I think low-key all of us just want a reading and we're afraid. We're like, no, we're not going to
because she's saying this, but like I'm trying to visualize you're seeing us all right, like because I see us all right now, and like when I walk into a room, I feel like I am able to read people in the room to a certain degree where I'm like, well, I would want to associate with that person. I would not want to associate with that person.
And that's really good to do because intuition is using your intuition just to know who is in maybe the proper vibe with you,
So that's just vibe reading. So I just walk in the room and I'm just like, reading. I'm reading the vibes and then I pick my people to.
I just couldn't give you this because, I used to work at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum. All right. I also managed a couple of rock bands. I also did a lot of stuff. I was at, industry parties. I'd be at an industry party and someone will walk up to me and right away I knew, and this particular star right away knew that his energy was high. My energy was high. We knew we could communicate. We could talk, that we were okay. All right. Do you know what I'm saying? And he even said to me, I saw you from across the room. I'm married. I know you're married. I know you're handling this business, but I know I can trust you. I like your vibration, and I was like, oh, wow, that's kind of cool. Because as a musician, he was intuitive, right? He was very intuitive. So he wasn't like he was trying to say like, basically say, I'm not trying to flirt with you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hit on you. I just want to talk.
I just want to talk because I know I can see your vibration. So I think that any time anybody should use their intuition to help them in situations, business wise, social wise, should you hang out with those people or should you run? Like walk into a basement of vampires. Yeah, you run.
Right. Okay.
I have been teased so many times about me saying like, my gut is telling me this is the wrong situation. Let's get out of here by my friends. And they're like, no. And then it ends up being bad. And I'm like, should have listened to me, guys.
Well, I have actually a story about something similar to that. One time me and my friend Izzy went to a bar and like we were offered to go like hang out at another bar with these dudes. And like, I was just getting a very like ill vibe from from them. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we're going to chill here. And then literally 2 days later in the news, I seen one of those guys on the newspaper. He robbed people that night. Oh. I would have been the person robbed. Yep. I was like, wow. Like, that was either something looking out for me or like the universe was talking directly to me at that point. Like, brother, do not.
So that's a vibration. That's also called precognition and premonition. And precognition and premonition are the two basic intuitives that we have. And those are based in the sacral navel chakras. And those are the fight or flight energies we get, right? Mm-hmm. All humans have that too. So a lot of people get scared about premonitions and precognitions because they're intense, because that is that fight or flight energy first. Learning to kind of not suppress it, but balance that energy and listen also with your third eye, your crown chakra, like kind of balancing those energies out to get a better intuitiveness with a situation is really important. Mm-hmm. But precognition and premonition can save your life. And, and that's why we tell people it's really, you have to learn to listen to that and trust that first feeling you get, that first vibration or that first intuitive flash that you get. Listen to it. It's right. And, all the times a lot of people go, just think about it. If you start listening to it on a daily basis, how much better your life would go. I mean, the example is not just like that situation. I'd have a bad vibe going and, I could have been shot.
Right.
That it would really have been bad if you've been robbed and, shot. So your intuition was really watching out for you. And it's very important that we acknowledge that. We should be teaching everyone and children more, learning to trust their intuition to help them in situations.
So would you say that your intuition is your guardian angel?
No.
Are there guardian angels?
Yes.
Is it the same thing as a spirit guide?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So you have like a board of spiritualness
advisors.
like a board of spiritual advisors that communicate over you.
We know she has spirit animals. So do you have a spirit guide and a guardian angel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is a spirit guide a person like in life?
Okay.
Sorry that we're like this.
No, I get you. So, first of all, an angel and a guardian angel are this basically the same. Angels and guardian angels. An angel has never been human.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
An angel has no free will. They can only do God's will. They're kind of like instant messengers to God. A spirit guide is someone who has been human, is someone who has experienced at least an earthly lifetime, and they have evolved spiritually, and they may have either a soul connection to you or a spiritual family connection to you. So an angel, again, is something that has never been a human, and they have no free will. So they don't understand us. Literally, they don't get us. We have free will. So we're kind of like angels, actually, energetically wise. And if you see the human from the other side, humans, we are musical, spherical colors in our dimensional bodies. So it's pretty amazing. The angels are really impressed with us, only they can't understand free will. So when you pray to an angel, you pray and, help me with this, help me with that. Most of the time, angels are kind of like, I don't get it.
Why do you need help with that? Why do you want that?
Why you just don't do God's will? Why don't you just listen to God? Like, why are you asking for this or that?
So they don't even relay those messages.
Well, they do. They do. But Saint Michael really kind of put me on, I really helped me realize when I was talking to Saint Michael, and I was doing some channeling work with him. And, I just was like kind of joking around, Don't joke with angels, though. It's not good. That's not good. But I was saying, Saint Michael, help me hit the lottery. If I hit the lottery, I'll help my family, I'll help my friends, I'll help all these people. He said, why do you need money? Money's the root of all evil. I'm not gonna help you get money. That's the root of all evil. I don't understand you. Why are you asking? So I was like, well, yeah, you're right. Money's the root of all evil.
But Saint Michael, I have needs.
But I got food and pay rent.
Bills. I got these bills.
And they don't see that. So when you're talking to angels, they're on that vibration. They're on that high vibration. They don't understand a lot of times what we're asking for. Now, a spirit guide being someone who's a human So they understand human conditions, they understand humanity, but they've also become highly evolved. They could be like a Buddhist monk, or they could have been like, the Dalai Lama in the lifetime.
So they're living people typically.
They have been a living person at one time.
Okay.
They may not have incarnated for a long time here on this plane, but they are a high human vibration. So sometimes a spirit guide, let's say, I just saw a spirit guide of a woman, just did a reading the other day, and her spirit guide was like kind of a nun-like woman. And the nun, she was amazing, but the spirit guide was like, she said, I became a nun, but only so I can become educated. And she trained in medicine and she trained in stuff as a nun and in her, nunnery, but she became a highly educated woman who also could heal people and, share helping people. So she kept going, well, I know I look like a nun, but I'm really not quite a nun. So I really love the whole thing that the spirit guide had to explain the fact that, but she came across like, in this beautiful white and blue long robe and everything. And, as I asked the woman I was reading, I said, well, do you work in health field? Do you help heal people? She goes, I think she was like an herbalist, so it went right in hand with that spirit guide helping her with herbs and vitamins and stuff. So it made sense. So a spirit guide, though, again, they come in on a contract with you to help you with your life's destiny paths, like things that you want to achieve your destiny points. So they come in to help you. Now, you can have a family member, let's say that grandpa passed, he can work kind of like a spirit guide, but he's more what I call ancestors. Ancestors are like your grandparents, your great grandparents who might still be waiting on the other side, or they come through in love, they help you, they protect you. That's kind of a different thing than an actual spirit guide. Okay.
So like a spirit guide might not be like, it would most likely be somebody that's not even related to you in any way. It's just
they could be from your soul group. They can be from your vibrational group or your energy group. Some spirit guides are animals, and some spirit guides can be, dimensional creatures, like, that type of thing. But mostly spirit guides have had some type of human experience. So they understand free will. They understand our dilemma.
Okay.
If that helps you.
No, it does.
It's interesting for sure.
So you said you wanted a reading.
Yes, I would like one, please.
Okay. Sure. So what I do really, really quickly is, so to do a quick little reading, I just first off need to know your astrological sign.
I'm a Leo.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I do things really differently than everyone. Each reader has their own way of doing things, So what I'm going to have you do, though, is I'm going to have you shuffle the deck.
Okay.
And I just want you to think about your questions as you shuffle until you feel like you did a good job, and then just set the deck down. I also do astrology. I love astrology. And to me, it really helps explain a lot of stuff.
So with astrology, this is actually a question from my significant other.
Okay.
Everything that she finds about our two signs says that we are not supposed to be compatible, but we pretty much feel like we're compatible because we just kick it all the time, basically, and we never really argue with each other or anything like that.
Well, what sign are you?
I'm a Scorpio.
What sign is she?
She is Aquarius.
Well, there's some challenges, but in astrology, we're made up of 12 different signs within our. So you may be a Scorpio.
You gotta know what your moon is and stuff like that.
Right. So there you go. You have like your planets are all in different signs. Sometimes. So the example would be, I'm a Scorpio, I'm Libra rising, Taurus moon. When you do astrology, you really have to have your chart done to really see where you fit with other people. I do really quick astrology, so I don't run people's charts really fast, but I do look at their birth date and try to see what their imprint is, like what they started out as. And I don't do the mathematician. I'm really bad at math. So but I do, I can see what's going on. If you're a Scorpio and she's an Aquarius, what you are squares. You're squared with one another. So you challenge each other to think differently, do something different. Most likely you have other planets that might be in Scorpio or Aquarius that bring you together. Sometimes it's just very simple things like both your moons are in water, both your Venuses are in water, or something like that. You have like an elemental thing that brings you together. It's like water, fire, earth, air. Okay. So it can be something as simple as that. It doesn't have to be, really big. But a lot of times, again, astrology doesn't lie. It's really amazing that it can really show us a lot of what's going on and why we pick people, why we are attracted to certain people, what really happens. And I've seen couples that have had the best astrology to be a couple, and it still doesn't work, So, it still didn't happen.
I mean, like the square thing you said, like we square off and kind of challenge each other on different things. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It kind of falls perfectly into place with how we act towards each other.
And sometimes we need that from somebody, though. Sometimes they make me think outside the box. Oh, I didn't know it. Yeah, maybe you're right on that.
Right.
Sometimes we feel like we need that push, So sometimes it can be a good thing. It doesn't have to be bad. Some of my best friends are Aquarians. I'm a Scorpio. It works. It's not bad. It's all right. So what I need you to do is to go ahead and cut the deck just once that way. And I need you to say to me your first name and your date of birth.
Ashley and August 17th.
Yeah, so you've had a rough couple of years. August 17th. Oh, that's why she likes to do radio. Her moon's in Gemini.
Oh.
Hey.
Her moon's in Gemini, communications. But she has a poker face. You guys have a hard time reading her sometimes. What's going on with her? Mercury in Leo. Yeah. Venus in Leo. Mars in Leo. So Mercury, how you think and process in Leo. Uh-huh. So you're very leadership, tell people what to do.
Jesus fucking.
Your Venus is in Leo. Venus is the planet of love, passion, relationships. In the sign of Leo, it makes you very passionate. It makes you very loyal, dedicated. It also makes you somewhat kind of needy in some respects. You need to be told that everything's okay, and you definitely love romance. You love romance and flowers and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
And your Mars, which is your work, your energy and career, is also in the sign of Leo. Women who have Mars and Leo, there are people that like to take charge and they like to organize and tell people how to do things, like to show people how to do things. They makes good school teachers, but this is also a placement of people who like entertainment. Mm-hmm. You probably research things, you try to figure stuff out. Yes.
Yeah.
And you probably wanted to be a school teacher.
I did.
Yeah. Now, the solar eclipses and lunar eclipses over the past 3 years ago, remember that nice solar eclipse we had where, it got dark and 3 years ago?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was at 28 degrees Leo. So that hit you on your natal Mars. So I guarantee there's some health stuff that took off.
It did, yeah. Actually, you're right.
You probably had to deal with some health issues. You probably had to deal with some things that were going on, and you might still be coming out of that.
Yep.
Okay. So because you have all this Leo energy, you have to be careful of giving too much. All right. So it's going to be important that you learn some boundaries. Okay. Which are some of the lessons coming up right now. So learning to say no, learning, how do I put this? This is yours and this is mine. This is your shit. This is my shit. Okay. We just kind of have this line right here. So you also are probably going to be processing some parental things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Because I feel like that's kind of left over. Mm-hmm. So there's a female you're worried about. Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. And you are concerned about your training, your schooling right now. You're kind of in between. You're trying to figure some things out. Did you go to school for?
No. I went to a technical school 10 years ago.
Okay. For what was the technical school for?
I went for medical billing and coding.
That's not where you want to be.
No.
That's too boring and that's too. So the Magician card crosses you, which is about career. Mm-hmm. So you're really trying to figure out what do I want to do and what are my skills? And this is also about maybe going to school, getting more training. But right now you don't see how it's possible.
Yeah.
You're just I can't do it. So, you say you have a husband, yes?
Yes.
Okay. What sign is he? Do you know?
No, he was born December 7th.
He's a Sagittarian. Oh, he's having a good year, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, woohoo, everything's good. So we have some things happening here. Finances are a big deal. You're really trying to figure out your finances and it's not working, more money's going out. You're really kind of just, kind of struggling. And it's something is happening. Did you lose a furnace or a car or something that's costing you money?
We're talking about buying a new car.
Okay. Because you're really concerned about that. You're concerned about getting that new car or that because I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
What's your health issue? Because they're telling me that you're not on disability, right?
No.
Okay. What's your health issue?
I have high blood pressure and I have a leg that swells continuously. So
it's hard for you to work.
It's hard for me to stand.
Okay.
And I get really uncomfortable for sitting for long periods of time.
Okay. Yeah. They're telling me because but you haven't I got to go to disability or I can't do this.
No.
So it's really kind of been it's catch-22 and you keep waiting for that right position or that right thing to come and nothing is happening. So over the past, 4 months or so, you've been kind of looking and it's just been not going.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go in the medical coding and billing. You just want to do anything else but that. So how can we make you money? You're Leo, talking, Have you thought? I don't know. We'll figure this out. We'll figure it out. So the other thing that's going on with you too is now with all the Leo you have, I'm still surprised to even say this, but learning to speak up for yourself. So who are you having to speak up to? Why are you having to speak up? Is it these guys here?
No, these guys are great. It's my mom, I think. Maybe that.
Okay, because you're really having these lessons about learning to speak up for yourself.
Yeah. I have anxiety pretty bad, so sometimes I get into my own head about things.
Okay, so what we have to do is what mom she does. Do you live with her? No. But I do feel that she was very picky, very difficult.
Yes.
And I'm not going to be anti-mom, but I kind of feel that. I feel like she also had a hard life, and I'm not sure what that's about. I feel like, did her father have problems with her father?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he abusive or just difficult? Yes. Okay. And I kind of feel this kind of has, come down, drained down a little bit into the family. I wouldn't say that you escaped, but I kind of feel like you distance yourself, though. Yeah. A couple of things. So different tangents coming in for you with work. So there's a part-time position that you're thinking about, and it may have to do with the school system, or it may have to do just volunteering or working at an office or a college, or working at a city hall or something. Does that make sense? Where do you live?
I live in Cleveland.
Okay. It's not full time, but it seems like it's might have some association to a government or an entity or body. In other words, like a school system has a board of directors, or a local city has, or a local administration office or something like that, or dispatching. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, but there's something opening up for you.
Okay.
So you might be taking that part time, but I think what we really got to do is let's work on your health. Absolutely. Because that solar eclipse showed you, hey, we got to pay attention, right? Okay. So did you have to go to the hospital?
No, I'd cut myself pretty bad on my leg, and it wouldn't stop weeping. So I just made a doctor's appointment. Okay. And they got me in right away.
Good. So let's see, cutting your legs. Well, it's we'll have to look at that. That could be past life stuff, because it was showing you something. So spiritually, the leg represents usually legs represent a family member, like a brother or sister. Okay. Do you get along with your brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Which one are you more worried about?
My sister.
Okay, could be. So cutting would be something you're worried about, cutting somebody out or having something happen. So I definitely would kind of pay attention to that relationship. Okay. And the other thing I get, what does your husband do?
He's a brewer.
That's great. I love it. Where does he brew at?
Market Garden Brewery.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I know somebody else who works there. A lady. She does the marketing or something, but maybe he could get you a job. Thought about that?
No.
No, that's a good job. Brewery. Ancient times, the brewers were considered sacred, Yeah. But so a couple things. You don't have children, do you?
No.
And you're not working on them, are you?
No.
You kind of are decided maybe no kids.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And, my suggestion, though, with all your Leo energy that you have, I think the most important thing right now is definitely focusing on what you love and what you want to do, what you see yourself doing. And so if you like broadcasting or doing things like that, maybe taking some classes, or going to Tri-C and learning more about computers or something like that, you could do good in all of that.
Okay.
IT might be the way to go for you.
Wow. Okay.
I know that's where'd that come from? Yeah. I just feel like that's might be good for you.
Okay.
So you might want to look into free colleges or, Pell Grants or things like that, because they come up in the first of the year.
Right.
And so it's always a good thing to kind of see if you can get in and just get some training going, Nowadays, trade schools are just maybe even better than, regular colleges, 4-year degrees.
Right.
So I'm going to think about that. But I think you're coming out of a lot of stuff. And I really feel like I want to tell you 2020 is going to feel a little bit better. Okay?
That would be great.
It'll be a little bit better for you. Did that help you out?
Yeah, no, that was great. Honestly, the one question I kept thinking about was should I go back to school? And wow, you hit the nail on the head. I'm surprised you got that I don't want children, honestly.
Don't want children? Financial troubles? Yeah.
Financial troubles. I'm going through bankruptcy right now?
Yeah. I took my headphones off. I was like, what? Do you have one more in you?
Well,
if not, it's no big deal.
Sure.
I'm honestly, I came in kind of skeptical because I've never had a reading.
I want to see how accurate she is with me.
My reading, the one time I went to a thing, they read my hand and said I had problems with my mom. And I knew that.
She didn't know that though, but she could see your hand. Palmistry is really a dying art. It's just really not a lot of people do palmistry anymore.
Do you know how to do palmistry?
I know how to do palmistry, but I don't do it, and I'll tell you why. I can share this story because this is a podcast.
Yeah,
and,
right.
I had a lady who was a friend of mine, did a lot of readings with me, and she was a palmist, and she was very pretty, very beautiful. And one night, we were out or something, and this really handsome man was approaching her and everything, and she said, "Oh, I'll read your palm," and it just went not. It wasn't something I would have even thought about, but she started stroking his hand. The guy started with literally going like that, and she was all like getting him turned on, asking him for money.
Whoa!
And I just went, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to read palms." That's just, and that guy was sweating. He was, and she had him wrapped around her fingers just by tracing the lines in his hand and talking real sexy and all this stuff. And I'm just like, oh, just. Yeah. Oh, man. So I kind of went, I know palmistry. I'm not going to do it. I can look at a palm and I can read a little bit. And I use it as a last ditch effort, basically on these questions that are like, am I ever going to get married? Or am I ever going to have children? Your palm will answer those questions. So I need to.
Where does it say I'm not having them? I just need to make sure it's perfect. No.
Is that there?
It's right there. Your astrological sign.
Gemini.
Okay. Oh, Geminis. That's why you guys get along. And that's why you're in communications. Yeah. Change. So like there's change with you. There we go. All right. So I need you to shuffle and think about all of your questions. And while you're shuffling, I'm just going to look up your chart really quick. So I need your date of birth.
June 6th.
Okay.
Can we bleep the birth years, please?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. I don't want anybody stealing my identity because you have said my last name on that.
I have said your last name on this.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, it's not very good.
I haven't thought about stealing people's identity, but yeah.
We can edit.
So June 3rd?
6th.
Oh, so you're 6'6". Oh, my son's a 6'6".
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. One that tells me, stop talking to your imaginary friends.
Starting off real good here.
So your moon is in Capricorn.
Knew that one.
Yeah. Moon in Capricorn. So that has to do with drama. Which is really good. Actually, it's a good placement for entertainment. Really, it is. Mercury, how you think and process in the sign of Cancer. You wear your heart on your shirt sleeve. You really do. You're very thinking about, you're intuitive thinking. You think a lot about what other people's feelings, Venus, and I think your Venus is in Taurus. It's kind of very cuspy, but I'm going to put it into the sign of Taurus. So you have your Uranus transits right now, which is really interesting. So you're all over the place with what you want, Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Especially with relationships, people, You're also trying to cut some people out of your life. You're trying to break free. Mm-hmm. Some social groups or certain people that just don't vibe with you anymore. Does that make sense?
I can hear it.
Okay. Your Mars is in Leo. So Mars, work, energy, and career in the sign of Leo like hers. Again, that's probably why you get along, work well together. Mm-hmm. Okay. Set it down. I'm sorry. Reaching around and cut it just once. And there you go. And Mars and Leo is a good placement for, teaching, talking, communications, healing, helping people. Yeah, it's all kind of
sticky.
So anyway, so that's a good place for, and that's a good place also for entertainment, talking. That's why you talk. Like, I like to talk, like getting, sharing, talking. Mm-hmm. I bet you write though too.
Yeah.
Do you blog or do you just like?
I have a TV show idea that I'd be working on. It's not like I don't do any like personal writing for myself. Like I try to do like comedy writing. I've tried to make like different.
So you write for other people?
Oh no, I just myself. I don't even release it. It's something a project that I want to work on eventually.
Okay, all right. That would be probably what I'm picking up because I'm like I see a lot of writing. I think you haven't tapped in enough with the writing. Mm. And I think that you kind of always have it on the side burner and you kind of don't, give. And I would say, my suggestion is a Gemini because you're good at keeping a lot of balls in the air and juggling. But it'd be a good idea to set aside just like a designated 4 hours or something to to the writing and the scripting and, doing that type of stuff. The Hermit card comes up for you first, which is really about, am I on the right path? My path in life. That's a destiny card. So am I on the right path? What's going to happen with that? So there's a hindrance with travel right now. So it means like either you're having a heart, you want to travel, but you can't, or you're hoping to do more traveling. Does that make sense? Right now you're stuck.
Stuck might be the word. That's the word.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't go forward with something. Maybe not actual literal travel.
Okay. So you're feeling stuck. All right. But I also feel that we are going to talk about some travel. So emotional disappointments, people letting you down. Did you break up with somebody?
No.
Okay. This is emotions. So usually this is like being disappointed in people or someone close to you has disappointed you and you're not like done with that person, but you're trying to walk away. You're trying to move away out of the situation. All right. And letting go of the past. Moving forward is the key. What else do you do?
I have a hot dog cart that I'm trying to get off the ground.
Okay. That's it. So you're focusing on that too. Because I feel like you have is there a partner with that or is there just someone that's going to be helping you?
Yes.
Okay. A male, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, because I feel this partnership, this person, is either going to be working with you. It feels like you can make something happen with it. Okay. I'm not going to say you're going to come into a ton of money, but it's definitely going to be something that this is for spring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Because cars, winter, I don't know. So just like you're on the same page with this person you're going to be working with. So this new big venture, new beginning is good. But let's address with you. Why are you depressed? Okay, so you just get to, we're going to talk about, so the star card comes up. So the star card comes up. Now, everyone's depressed, right? Depression is a healing process. Depression, we don't talk enough about depression, I think, because you have a right to be depressed, right? Sometimes you have a right to be depressed.
Right.
And it's a healing process you need to go through. This star card, it indicates that for you, you're like in a really, you're going deep within yourself. You're really trying to figure some things out. And you can't express to other people what's going on inside. Okay. Now, the whole mythology with this card, the way I talk about it, is this is the card of hope. It is the card, though, that it's kind of similar to what we call it, like it's a major journey in your life. So the journey you're on is you are reformulating yourself. You're reformulating your archetype, who you connect with. So in Joseph Campbell, we talk about the certain archetypes we connect with, like the warrior, the healer, the wizard, the elfin prince, whatever, But these archetypes that we connect with. So you're in the middle of changing up some archetypes within yourself. And you feel like you're going through some really bad things. You're trying to let go of some bad things, which is great because you're working on it. So it's also very similar to the story of the mythology of going into the underworld and retrieving parts of yourself, remaking yourself, and then coming back out, the warrior or the hero's journey, and coming back out onto the other side. And we know that we're going to come back out, right? But you may just be in that process. So stay in the process as long as you need. Get help if you need it. In other words, like talk to someone or read a good book or listen to a CD or watch a video on YouTube. But do what you need to do because you're in that process and you're coming out of it. This is changing. This would make sense because the planet Jupiter is in the sign of Sagittarius. It's been opposing your sun sign, so it's pushing you. You feeling pushed, but you're like, why am I being pushed? Why do I feel like I have to walk around the corner when I'm fine where I'm at, right? Mm-hmm. But you're in the process. So whatever this process is, this is pertaining to career, it's pertaining to your energy, and it's pertaining to how you want people to perceive you. So there's some big things that you're working on. And there's nothing bad about that, Mm-hmm. News coming in. Do you have some friends that are like in other industries or other things that you are trying to connect with, or some people like, more out of state or like, in like not just podcasting, but your other interests like television or things like that?
I have been reaching out to people recently, like in other industries that I'm like both attempting to have on the podcast and like collaborate with in different ways.
Okay. Because I really feel that this is going to start some doors are opening for you as we get past the first of the year. Okay. So I do feel like phone calls, news. I still feel you're going to travel west and after April. So after you get your income tax check.
Okay.
So around April, you might be traveling. I don't see a lot with relationships. So are you with someone?
Yes, I am.
Okay, what sign is she?
Gemini.
Okay. She lives here?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not here, but in Cleveland.
Okay, she's in Cleveland.
Well, like she's here most days.
She lives here part-time?
Yeah, part-time.
Okay. Well, so that looks stable then. I would say that you're not looking to break up, correct?
No.
Yeah, right. You want to stay together. You're pretty happy.
Yeah.
But I don't see marriage either.
No.
All right. It's almost like I'm going to focus on my career for the next year. Mm-hmm. I'm going to focus on my finances. And then maybe we might take some more steps. Does that make sense?
Maybe, yeah.
Another Gemini with you would be good. Mm-hmm. It's very compatible. She's not a nurse or anything. What does she do?
She is a school teacher.
Oh, she's a school teacher. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I got she had that kind of like caregiving energy with her. Mm-hmm. So, so she's also arty. What does she do? Does she like draw? Does she like music? She used to
draw. She doesn't do too much art anymore though.
Okay. Tell her Tell her the psychic said she needs to get back into more art expression.
Okay.
Because I really feel that was, a good outlet for her.
Okay.
And I know being a school teacher is like, oh, I got so much work to do, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But yeah.
Right.
Right. Any questions? Anything specific?
No, I just wanted to see.
So I don't see a ton of money coming in, which I'd love to see for you. But, what I do feel is that you're trying to get some ducks in a row, and I think that those are going to start to happen for you. But just don't get too caught up in beating yourself up and trying to figure, you're something's making you go deep. If that makes sense. So whatever you're processing, I think that it's part of your growth, and it's going to turn out to be part of, the next step for you. Okay. Yeah. So if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does. That I hear it.
Okay. Does that help you?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
That was super interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of times people, when they get a reading, a lot of times they're kind of like, well, that doesn't make sense right now. I often tell people, give it, a few months, give it 6 months. A lot of my clients will go, well, I encourage people to record their readings. Mm-hmm. Unlike some readers who are like, oh, you can't record. And I'm like, no. I'll never remember what I said. So don't call me in 2 months and say, well, when you were reading me, because I won't remember.
Right.
But the other is, it's a good documentation, because a lot of times I'll have many of my clients will go, boy, I got that reading. It didn't make any sense. But by God, I listened to that reading 6 months later and everything you said happened. And they're like, whoa.
You definitely hit on some major details, because not only is my partner in the podcast male, but my partner in my hot dog cart, who's going to be the guy running it, he's also a male. So and you're also correct that I'm anticipating the money coming in sometime around spring. Yep. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And food industry is tough, but it can be rewarding. I know a person who had a hot dog truck, and he could make up to $7,000 to $10,000 a day.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah. So just take care of the vegetarians.
Yeah.
That's every place he went, they'd always go, do you have in fact, he did a Hindu wedding or something. It was like nobody ate meat.
Bad place to be.
Yeah, right.
The meat seller.
Yeah, it's like that.
So when you do tarot readings, is that more you tapping into your psychic abilities, or is that more like the stars are instructing the cards?
No. No, it's my intuitiveness. I'm listening to my intuition. I'm listening at the same time. I'm listening to someone's spirit guides. Now, I also listen to the dead people, but I didn't get a whole lot of. There's a little bit of interference with dead people today, so I'm not sure.
It's all the Wi-Fi waves.
Yeah.
Is it all? It might be. I didn't get a whole lot of dead people with everybody, So I'm assuming your parents are still living.
Yeah, both of them are.
And I think your parents are living. So,
wait. Do you pick up on any details about the people in the room?
Well, everybody?
How do we all know each other if you were to guess? Or you wouldn't know?
I wouldn't know, but I could see why you are together as astrologically.
Okay.
With both, and I would have to look up his chart, but, it's a lot of Leo stuff going.
The funny thing is we're siblings.
Yeah.
So you're siblings.
Yes. Brother and sister.
And that would make sense. Mm. You're very close.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say just in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
we got super close too. I started making him come to my game nights. I'm like, you better come. You better come.
Aw. No, that's good. So you're a little younger then.
Yeah, I'm younger than.
There's more. There's one more though.
Two more.
Two more. Okay, thank you. I thought there was more. Like, you guys are not spread out, though. You're kind of close.
The oldest one is 10 years older than me.
Well, I meant like in city.
Oh, yeah. We're all
in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not all probably all in the same neighborhood.
I think I'm
10-minute drive.
I'm the farthest one away.
You are the furthest one away, but Amanda is literally around the corner.
Yeah,
and so is mom and dad.
I have one more question. How do you feel about celebrity psychics like Sylvia Brown, the Long Island Medium, and John Edwards? Because like Sylvia Brown has been proven to be a false reader in some things.
Absolutely, Sylvia Brown is
the biggest disappointment to my psychic.
Yes, honestly, yes.
That I've ever had.
I remember watching her on Montel, and me and mom being so sold on her.
My mom used to read me Sylvia Brown books.
Yeah, I've read a couple of them.
So Sylvia Brown is, in one respect, she had a lot of people. She opened a lot of people up to this. So she made it kind of cool.
Mainstream.
Kind of, broke into the mainstream. She wrote her books, although she didn't write them. She had ghostwriters help her write, but she did write her books. Sylvia Brown was really, really huge back in the 70s in the East Coast. And she had a church. It was a Gnostic church that she had founded. So she had some really big stuff going back in the 70s. I actually have her textbooks from her Gnostic church. Some of the information that she was channeling was very, very informative, very interesting. So I don't know what happened between that and then the Sylvia Brown who went on air and told this boy that had been kidnapped, told his family, his mother and father, he was dead, and turned around a week later, he was found still alive. And I don't know how, we all make mistakes. So I'm not trying to judge her, but that wasn't the first time she made that kind of mistake.
Right. So she had multiple of these occurrences because if you remember the Amanda Berry.
Yeah. And I think, I'm going to tell you right now, that whole Amanda Berry thing, that whole thing, that her family, the Jesuses, was it
Gina de Jesus?
Yes. Their family went to every psychic in the Cleveland area, and they came to me. And I was perplexed because I kept getting, I think she's dead. No, she's alive. It was back and forth. And the only thing I could figure out with that was, and I got the van, I got the house, I got the street, bam, saw it all. And I said, he's going to do it again. He's going to take another girl. And this is before he did. He took another girl. But I think it's because they were being beaten and their heads were being covered, being chained up in basements. I think it was really hard that they might have been disassociating, leaving their bodies, passing out or whatever else the hell was going on. So maybe that was really hard for some of the readers to kind of pick up. I can't make excuses, but I really felt bad for that family. And I wished, that's why I'm very careful with missing people and stuff like that. I don't do that. I don't do missing people. I don't do people who are dead, like murder victims and things like that. I think that's a real weird place to go. Fine line with that. Okay. So there are some readers that are really phenomenal with that, and they can be, but I think that when it comes to in life or death situations, you can be wrong. And if you're wrong, how do I put this? It could endanger somebody.
Changes it from life to death.
Yeah. Right. Or it can accuse somebody who didn't do it.
Right.
Okay, good.
So it's kind of like when somebody asks me, is my husband cheating? I tell someone, I can't tell you that. And I'll tell you why. Because someone can be mentally cheating.
Yep.
But not physically cheating. And it still may appear to be cheating to a psychic, to a reader, because the energy.
Oh, okay.
So I can't say 100% someone's cheating. It's because I may be wrong.
Right.
And I don't want to be wrong and accuse someone who may be mentally cheating. Okay. He's mentally cheating, but not physically cheating.
Right.
That's not fair to him.
Right.
Unless he comes in and sits down with her and we do some marriage counseling on top of it. I'm not going to help. So John Edwards for real.
Okay.
I've seen John Edward. He's for real.
I always get because I used to watch that show a lot, and I'm like, a lot of it was very confusing because he'd be like, oh, someone's redheaded. Maybe they're over here, but then it'd be over here. So
the gallery readings that he does are based on the Spiritualist Church. And the Spiritualist Church was founded in 1862, and its main headquarters are in Lilydale, New York. And the Spiritualist Church, what we do in the Spiritualist Church is we do the gallery readings. So he took what they do in Lilydale, they do the gallery readings, and he thought that was really cool to do gallery readings. Now that's the big thing. Everybody wants to do gallery readings.
Lilydale is supposed to be the psychic capital of America, right?
It is. And it's mediumship, though. Lilydale is all about mediumship. They're like, okay, so all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums.
Okay.
Not all psychics can talk to dead people.
Okay.
All right. So John Edwards does the gallery thing, and yes, it does get confusing, but you have to think about this too. I'm a Scorpio. I sit and calculate all this stuff. So he fills a room with, I don't know, 2,000 people. Mm-hmm. He's charging $42 a person.
Right.
He runs a video for 25 minutes, talks for about 25 minutes, and does 10 readings and rakes in about $50,000.
Man.
I wish I was that psychic.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's the first multimillionaire psychic that I know of. Okay? Really? So he's really, but he is for real. I saw him work. He's for real. Okay. Long Island medium. I don't know her personally, but she violates every universal law. So, and then I have heard that she got busted not once but twice for having her assistants. Take people's names, research them prior to, when they're buying tickets through the ticket, they buy tickets, look them up and kind of just get information and feed her information ahead of time. She's been busted more than once on that.
Gotcha.
And what you see on TV is not always what is really going on. I mean, they edit on TV. Right. They, make things more exciting and stuff like that. A lot of those
reality shows are also just fake.
They're fake. And so, I mean, though I don't know her personally, I've never gone to see her in her, I did not like her show.
Yeah.
I think some of these shows are really, done, again, altered and done so that it appears more or less whatever is going on. Just like some of those paranormal shows, you know.
Right.
But
Ghost Adventures.
Yeah. But,
I'm being possessed every episode.
It's like he's such a drama. But there are some phenomenal mediums, and I always say that, out there, support your community. There are mediums out there who are reputable, who are good, who have trained. And, you're not going to see them on TV, but they're, for $50, you're going to get an hour reading or a half an hour reading, and it's going to be good.
Right.
Okay.
And that's why I do the psychic fairs at the UAW Union Hall in Brook Park. Coming up this year, schedule. I do psychic fairs so that people can get and experience the different kinds of readings there are. Mm-hmm. Experience an astrology reading. You can experience a palm reading. You can experience a rune reading. You can experience a gemstone reading, tarot reading, straight up mediumship. So you can experience all the different ones, right? Mm-hmm. That is to me, that's a service so that you can figure out what you like or don't like. And especially if you're going through, let's say you're going through divorce, okay? You may want to get a couple different readings to kind of see the parameters of what's going on, to see if they agree, both agree. Usually they do. Usually the readers, I have people come in and get 3 or 4 readings, and all the readers said the same thing to them,
right.
So they pretty much know that's what's going on.
This is solidified now.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and act on this.
Yeah. But you do have, and the dangers I always like to stress, for people is they're not the danger so much, but there are the shysters out there. There are the people. I just tell people support someone who's like, they're an ordained minister, that they're part of the community, that they're around. They're not going to fly by night. You do have the storefront kind of.
So I call those the crystal ball readers.
Yes. You have those storefront readers and, they give all of us a bad name. You go in, I tell people you're a consumer. So you have a right that if you're uncomfortable or you feel you're being pressured, you don't have to pay that person. You don't have to, you can leave. You can end the reading at any time. You don't have to sit through. You don't have to be, told that bad things, right? So my example would be some of these readers come in, you go in and they're going to charge you $25 for just a tarot card reading. But if you want a palm reading, it's another $25. They kind of do the spiel like, hey, we've got a, if you don't pay me $1,000 for this candle that's been blessed in Jerusalem, then, your dog is going to die, or, or you're going to be cursed or something like that. Or that's how you have a black aura and you've got to pay me $1,000 to change your black aura. No, and don't. Because, and that may be their tradition, give it to them. That might be their tradition. But, there are books out there. If you have a black aura, here's a book, fix your aura. Okay. If you're cursed, here's a book, write a white candle, get rid of the curse. It has no power over you anyway. It's just something you may believe. So, you don't have to pay someone $1,000 or $10,000. I know this one particular reader who is notorious for charging people tens of thousands of dollars for like love spells.
Oh.
Or just, reuniting you with your lost lover or something like that. And, and then of course we know that's been on the news channels around here. The reader, was conning these women out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, it just gives all of us a bad name.
Right.
And so I tell people, please, there's wonderful, reputable people out there. You don't have to, and say no. Just say no and walk away. Don't give that lady your credit card. Just walk away. Run, don't walk. And or if you have questions, call somebody else and ask them what did they think about that. Get some input, because most of the readers I work with and my colleagues are very have ethics, and they take it very seriously, and they want our reputations to be good. And the other thing, as an ordained minister, what people say to me is in confidence. It's not something I'm going to go write a book about or blab about people. So I kind of laugh about it because I work down in another city outside of Cleveland, and I read a lot of people. And it was one woman was like, she said, you must know a lot about like everything that goes on in this town. I'm like,
yeah, you're right, I do.
Yeah.
You're not getting any of it.
I kind of do. But people also know that I don't talk about their business, because I consider it a spiritual consultation. I consider it between, us, and it's sacred, and I'm not going to mess with that.
If you decide to turn down the dark path, though, it's a real easy pivot to a gossip column. You know what I'm saying?
It can. It can very easily. Yeah. I used to do for a rock radio station out of London, England. They would call me and I would call in, and they wanted me to do readings on celebrities, and then I did that for a little bit, but I got very uncomfortable because I'm going into like doing the celebrity stuff. You're going into someone's energy. I was uncomfortable with it, saying things that were going to happen. I didn't like it at all. That was not my thing.
I got a question. Would you be like, if you have another person that's in tune with their psychic abilities, can you guys like merge your psychic abilities to get like a better reading?
There are people that do that, that practice, like they call it the law of three, and they actually have two other people that sit and read with them. Then they to read one person, and they get this higher vibration going. But no, I don't. But I do know that at my psychic fairs, all the readers who are reading, we seem to have our vibrations really raise up. And there's a lot of energy flying around the building that day. It's pretty fun. But I don't merge with anybody. I keep my energy to myself.
Gotcha.
Another thing I merge with would be, a spirit guide, or my higher self would come in.
So what would you say is the purpose of like humans having psychic abilities? And since like you said, like it's not even just you who has psychic abilities, like you feel that everybody on some level has psychic abilities. Like what would you say are like the purpose of that?
First of all, I think everyone, the reason we're intuitive is natural selection. So let's say we're a tribal people and we're running down a path, and to the left goes to the happy hunting ground, and to the right goes off the cliff and you die. So you're at the crossroads, and which way do you go? Well, your intuition says happy hunting ground. Mm-hmm. Someone without intuition would off the cliff.
Right.
So basic. And I think that we as people, we needed intuition, we needed psychic abilities, we needed shamans, we needed people to communicate with those that have crossed over, because you live to maybe be 25 years old if you're lucky, and grandma and grandpa passed and they knew where the happy hunting ground was. They knew where the clean water was. How are you going to talk to them? They're dead. So you had to have a shaman or a medium to talk to grandma and grandpa and find out where the clean water was. So as tribal people, going back to our just general beginnings, we used it. Nowadays, so that's the first half of why I feel everyone is intuitive. And I can't remember the other half of that question that you had. What is it supposed to do with us?
Like what's the purpose of it at that point? Like now?
Now the purpose is that we're becoming more aware. We've always been connected There's this mass consciousness that goes on. Edgar Cayce talks about this. He even says that at night you are telepathically communicating with other people to plan the next week or the next day. So we're becoming more and more aware of it. I think it's always been there, but we're becoming more and more aware. I mean, we even talked about the 100 monkey thing. Like the monkeys, one monkey learned to use a rock and 100 monkeys later is using a rock. We are all connected. So we are learning more about that.
It's called like homeopathic memory, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be it. But it's that we're telepathically connected. We're energetically connected. We are creatures of energy. We are creatures. We are, all creatures are intuitive. Animals are intuitive. It's just part of our growth, though, too. I mean, we say that perfect ideal situation we'd all be so intuitive, and we all be great healers, and we all be psychic. That we would be living in a much better world.
Okay. All right. So we've got one last question here on Not Your Average Hipsters. It's a question we ask every interview.
Oh boy. Okay.
So it's based off of a meme that I read once that deaf people who get cochlear implants believe that when like what they say is they expected the sun to have a sound when they first started hearing. What would you think the sun sounds like?
The first half of it, go over the first half of that again. When deaf people get
deaf people.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
like
deaf.
a cochlear implant
I was like,
so that they can hear.
Okay.
She was like, dead people here in the sun. What is that? What memes where are you getting your memes from?
That's like crazy. So they want to know, what would the sun sound like?
Yes.
What do you think the sun would sound like?
Yeah. So you're deaf and you've been imagining a sun sound your whole life.
Well, depending on if you have, it's okay. Man, so I'm trying to think of since, I don't think it does make a noise. There's a vibration to it. I think that if you have the ability to hear that vibration, then it would sound maybe like a hum. Okay. Or something like that, or a ringing.
Okay.
Would you be able to give us that sound audibly? That you think it is like that. What hum or ringing do you hear?
I don't know. That's a good one. Probably just me.
All right.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah. Well, with that, we're going to wrap up Not Your Average Hipster for the week. We really appreciate you coming on.
This was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Big thanks
to Elizabeth Howell.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. You can go to my website, www.elizabethhowell.com. It has all the links to my psychic fairs, the things that I do, events, classes, and workshops, as well as my cosmic traffic report. And I suggest people to subscribe to the cosmic traffic report because I give them monthly what the astrology is doing every month for people. Like next month, there's a solar eclipse in Capricorn and things like that. And then also go to, my TV show, which of course is on YouTube, and it's Psychic Sushi TV. And I interview, just like you guys, I interview people who are UFO and Bigfoots and psychics and people who've written books on healing. And so it's really been doing this for 5 years. All the different modalities with healing. We have tuning forks and people that do that. So you can learn more about that. What is that about? What is Reiki? What is tuning fork healing? And so I'm on Facebook. So I think it's White Wolf Sings is my personal page. And then I think it's Elizabeth Howell Fairs. I think it's the other one. It's been so long since I set them up. But yeah, you can contact me. I work out of the center in Medina. So I teach classes and I'm out there, do readings on the phone as well.
All right. Great. So turn on Psychic Sushi TV after you get done listening to this episode and check out some things you haven't found out about yet.
All right. That's Not Your Average Hipsters.
Peace.